Hold up, who has the best band? We're gonna settle this right now.
Grambling State, yeah, Grambling.
It's not even, I ain't even got to say nothing. It's not even a question.
I let them all, rep their city, rep their bands, but we only know it's on one band out there now. That's Southern University.
Hey, what's up, Cowboys Nation? I'm Nicole Hutchison, your host, and we are here at the Star, the headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys, celebrating Black History Month. Join us for our conversation with HBCU alumni such as Gunda Wells, that's the Dallas Cowboys Titans coach. She's a Southern University alum. Kalina Williams, Dallas Cowboys photographer. She's a North Carolina A&T alum. Then there's Everson Walls, Dallas Cowboys alum player and Grambling State University alum. And then there's Marquise Bell, Dallas Cowboys safety from Florida A&M University. And myself, Nicole Hutchison, the Dallas Cowboys team reporter from Howard University. A lot of different schools, colleges in this room. Just talk about why you decided to attend your university.
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to go to an HBCU. It was actually between Florida A&M and A&T. And literally the moment I stepped on campus, I felt at home. Like I felt that's where I belong. So after that, it was an easy decision, and I'm glad I made it.
I was recruited out of high school, had offers to Alabama, but then, my GPA wasn't quite what it needed to be, the core GPA. Found out about that late. So then, I was left with Southern or Grambling, and both my parents graduated from Southern. Both my parents graduated from Southern, and so it was kind of a no-brainer.
I was thinking of USC and UCLA and all those kind of colleges, UT as well. GPA core was good. I could have gone to those other schools, but I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity or the guidance that I needed at those schools. I needed a Grambling, and that's why I ended up there, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life, actually.
Coming out of JUCO, I had FAMU and Jacksonville State. So took a visit to FAMU, got on campus, met with the coaches and everything, and I just felt like I belonged. So from then on, I was a rattler.
All of you all said the same thing of you felt like you belong. What makes that at-home feeling so special about going to an HBCU?
The unique history behind the universities and what they had to go through to start them, but not only start them, but maintain them and grow them so that it would be a great place for young men and young women to go and learn life skills.
What about you, Kalina?
Yeah, so just going to college and being on your own for the first time, that's a big step for a lot of students. And so just making sure where you're going is something that's close to home when you're far away from home was really important to me. And no matter where I was safe and I was appreciated also. So.
Mm-hmm. With me, it was one other caveat too. It was my girlfriend was already figuring out where she was going to go. She said, "I'm going to Grambling," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's done deal. Let me make some phone calls and see if I can." Get my little film out there. At the time, they were in canisters, so you was sending out those copies of those films out to any coaches that would bite. And when I heard that, the great Eddie Robinson, I have a chance to be looked at by him, that was really a no-brainer at that point. And when I ended up at Grambling, it was, like you said, just like being home.
Well, for me, it was, going to a school where everybody looked like me and had similar backgrounds to me, if not the same.
That's kind of similar to me, and kind of touching on why I ended up going to Howard is because, so my whole life, my mom sent me to predominantly Caucasian schools, and my mom was like, "Low-key, you need some more culture, girl. You gotta go to one of these schools." And so we took a visit to Howard, and it was homecoming weekend. Yeah, and it sold me. At homecoming, it sold me, and I was like, I have to come here. As far as homecoming.
What you want to know?
Oh, we gonna settle this right now.
Ain't nothing to say.
How was y'all's? Kalina.
Only one greatest homecoming on earth. I'm just saying. I
don't believe that. But how was y'all's homecoming experiences?
It was amazing. 2 years that I was there for homecoming. Great time, just great atmosphere. Everybody just coming back into town, seeing all the food trucks lined up down the roads just blocked off for miles, just knowing the whole city is just shut down. They can't even FSU has a game, they're ready. They have their game early so they can come to our homecoming game. So like that's how like big homecoming is.
Kalina?
Well, we already have the name. We already have the name. But yeah, the greatest homecoming on earth, which is trademarked, by the way. It's actually trademarked by a graduating class, which I think
y'all
is really
trademark
cool.
that?
Man, I'm gonna have to go out there and see y'all homecoming one day. I gotta see it for myself.
Well, that's because they trademark it. That doesn't mean it's true.
Hey.
I think it's a lot of nerve, actually, to say that.
But it's definitely one of the best parts of A&T. Of course, the biggest part is, of course, the game is always my favorite part. Just not even just the game, just the culture and seeing all the former players come back and seeing all the former band members come back, seeing old alum come back. Coming freshman year, you make friends with like your senior friends, and then they leave, and then they finally come back, and it's always just like a little fun reunion. And then after the game, you have going on where all the plots, everybody's at the plots, everybody's cooking, everybody has music playing, there's the DJs, and it's just one big grand old family reunion.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, homecoming at Southern, it's not just a game. I can promise you that. From the concert, I mean, it's like starting on Thursday from a concert. On Thursday till Friday, you got the Greek show.
Got LSU people coming over there.
Yeah,
You can't keep them
it's a
off
big
camera.
deal down. Then, leading up on Saturday to the game, like you guys said, the tailgate, the food, the music out there playing.
Battle of the bands.
On to our next question, though. Can you share a specific moment or experience at an HBCU that had an impact on you?
Graduation. My family came, my grandma was there. I just felt like that moment was like a staple for me. My grandma got to see me walk across the stage and knowing everything that she put into me, everything that she did for me, sacrificed for me, that was just a moment that I'll never forget.
I'm the team photographer, so my first time ever shooting football was at A&T, and it was the homecoming game. From the band, from the stands, just like this was a time where we had the field where there's like a track around it. All the fans spilled out onto the track and were watching the football game from there, and it was just like,
the energy. Yeah. I think with mine, it was, being from Texas, everything's always just bigger. And I was looking for that big moment at Grambling, and it just happened to be the Bayou Classic. And when I experienced that, it really did change me a lot to where I think my thought process just seemed to broaden. And that was something that they've been doing way before I got there and ever since.
I mean, the Bayou Classic was, that is a big deal.
The granddaddy of them all.
Granddaddy, I mean, it is a special deal. But I would say, like for me, 2003, we won the national championship. Same year we won it, LSU had won it too. So we won the black national championship. They won the national championship. So seeing the whole city, Baton Rouge and the state, come out and support us in the parade. Seeing LSU and Southern riding the parade together, I think that really unified the state, and unified different cultures, different races, and all brought us as one because we both had accomplished, something special in terms of winning. Big moment.
You talked about the support that you all received when y'all won that championship, and for both of you guys, have y'all seen the support for HBCUs, especially in football, kind of grow over the past couple of years?
I think Prime, when he went to Jackson State, I mean, they had college game day at Jackson State. I mean, come on now. It's growing. Can it be better? Can it be more done? Yes, probably, but it is growing, I would say.
And, that's what HBCUs have been waiting on. And all of a sudden now we've got more exposure on the sports channels. You see some of our games. You see a lot of what we're all about, not just the games themselves, but the campuses, the bands.
Hold up, who has the best band? We're gonna settle this right now.
Grambling State, yeah, Grambling.
It's not even, I ain't even gotta say nothing, it's not even a question.
I let them all, rep their city, rep their bands, but I mean, we only know it's only one band out there now. That's Southern University.
I must admit though, besides Grambling, I was very impressed because I played against them a couple of times. FAMU's Marching 100.
They might be better now, but I just gonna speak on all of this stuff, man. And what Doc Gregg did, I mean, he changed the scope of bands. I mean,
how has your HBCU experience shaped who you are today?
I mean, I always say this, you had everything you needed, you probably didn't have some of the stuff you wanted. If you was going down the road and it was a hole in the road, you build a bridge and you adapt and go around. So it taught you how to adapt.
The struggle. It was
The struggle. We all was in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really didn't matter if you were a ball player or just a regular student, you're in the band. We all had that same struggle. And we were all trying to make it through class. We were all trying to get that
financial aid don't come on time.
And every once in a while, you'll see that person who the financial aid didn't come in for. You can just see it on their faces, like, oh man, I didn't get it. But that struggle was, it was universal.
Yeah. What about you, Kalina?
Yeah, same thing, especially on like the photo side. We didn't have all those resources. We didn't have the team members. We didn't have all the special cool things like the big Alabama schools have. I had to sneak on the field most of the time just to even get down there just because they didn't have any passes. I was like, I'm gonna get on this field one way or another. It was just one of those things where I figured out how to get where I needed to be, and A&T taught me that, whether they wanted to or not. They taught me that, so.
I think they knew. Yeah, all HBCUs, they know that we all identify in that struggle.
And we didn't have like cameras because I wanted to do journalism, and so I had to go buy my own camera and my own mic. Didn't have a lot of money in college. You know, of course you don't ask your parents all the time like for money. So I was out there on the field doing my own stand-ups and just improvising. So I mean, lack of resources is pretty much one of the biggest struggles, I'd say.
I mean, I'll say this. I thank God for the struggle. I really do. It's because struggling early, it just does something to you because you will not be denied to make it. And in the football office, at Southern, I want to say they probably had a little bit more resources than some other universities because, again, playing in the Bayou classes generated a lot of money, a lot of funds, and, our games was packed. We had a good support in terms of the fan base, but we still didn't have a whole lot. I mean, if you needed a new pair of socks, man, Freeze would say, hey, go look over there in that bag and get you some socks out of that bag.
They might not match.
I'd be like, Freeze, man, I need a new jock. Man, they got some jocks over in that bag. I'm like, bro. But, the struggle was just the struggle, but you just kept plowing ahead. And
it's so crazy how now all these HBCUs have so much more resources, especially like how we're getting Jordan gear. I'm like, that's so crazy. I wish, we would have had that back then. But I mean, you also have to just look at it now and say, wow, like it's really changed over the past couple of years.
That's because of us, though. Changed for the better.
What unique academic programs or campus activities or opportunities did you all find at your HBCU?
I know just because it's February, we have February 1, which is honoring the A&T4 who did the sit-in and at Walworth's. And it's just nice that they honor that history, and so that's a big thing. That was also a big thing for me going to A&T, is that they were a part of something important, and I also wanted to be a part of that.
Homecoming was mine. Just seeing just the family aspect, like how, you getting rattlers from all over the country. Everybody comes back for homecoming. Like the city is shut down just because FAMU's homecoming. Like this is how connected you are to the university. This is how connected you are to each other. Just things like that. Like that's what I hold on to.
So how was that transition when you graduated college and you're like, dang, I'm not in that little bubble anymore? How was that transition for y'all?
I mean, I graduated during COVID, so already I was like, well, I was already alone by the time March hit. So it was like community ended real fast with COVID, and it was hard trying to navigate just being out of college. And I was at home, so I was still in a familiar space with my parents, and of course they're always willing to help me, but I had plans. I was trying to do stuff. I was trying to get jobs, and the season ended. I couldn't go back to campus and work with the football team there. Season ended, and they were switching conferences, so then that messed up a lot of things. Yeah, so it was a rude awakening, and literally like when the peak of COVID was ending, I got this job, and now I'm already having to adapt to another new situation. So it was rough.
In what ways do your HBCUs contribute to the success of their graduates in various fields?
They send me stuff all the time. They make sure any accomplishment I make, they make sure everybody knows about it. Anything I do, they make sure they publicize it. They try to get my name out there as much as they can. They do what they can with the resources that they have to help me and fellow rattlers that are doing other things, like Zay that was here, who's with the Colts now, and Xavier Smith that's with the Rams. They try to get their names out there just to help build their brand.
I think with us, it's a matter of presence. And it's like growing up in any black family. They always want you to come back.
Yeah.
You know, come back and show them what's going on. What'd you do? Come on, baby, get up there and tell them what's going on. And so, you know, we have those examples out there, and we come back, talk to the kids about it. You can see that, especially the ball players, they get it. You know, they get it. No matter how young they are, they understand what the legacy was all about.
I think saying that, you know, you guys benefited from the Eddie Robinsons and the Doug Williams. I think overall, all HBCUs benefit from people like that. You know,
Jay Gaithers. I mean, you could go on Marlon Castles.
Yeah, I mean,
we
we all like tied into each other
Yeah.
by going to HBCU because the things that they did and accomplished allowed us, you know, at different universities, have a chance.
So I think that that's what makes going to an HBCU also unique. Have you had that type of experience?
It was more seeing the students that did accomplish big things just come back. It's nice to see that growth that they have and just seeing, like, basically just coming back and support, not forgetting where you come from.
If you had to pitch to a prospective student that's going to college, what would you say to them? Why should they go to an HBCU?
One thing I would tell them is because there's just an automatic comfort zone there. You know, you want to be somewhere where you think you can at least trust people just inherently. Going there, you know, it took me a little while to really get my feet under me, but it's amazing. I don't even know when the transition came to when I was all in. It just happened. But it was all about, once I got there and became focused, nothing else around me mattered. It was just all about me finishing my journey and getting the heck out of here. And I don't mean because I hated it, but because that's the goal, to get in school and to get out.
Me personally, when I got there, the fact that I felt so at home helped me excel faster than it would have when I was at my previous school. So just knowing that you're going to be taken care of, you're going to have people that's going to look out for you, keep your best interests at heart, that'll help you grow and, you know, achieve the things that you want to achieve.
You know, being at HBCU, I do look at it as a one-stop shop. We talked about the culture earlier. We talked about the struggle. You get a little bit of everything. At the end of the day, you know, those life lessons that you're able to learn on campus, I think that ultimately helps you move on to the next level in your life.
I think it was kind of like being whipped into shape, I guess, because I remember, I mean, we were so ridiculous in regards to I'm speaking from football standpoint here, our practices were so long, the conditioning was so intense. There was nothing they could do here with the Cowboys that could faze me.
You've been there.
Man, it's nothing like what, I didn't have no tape on my shoes, I didn't have any good shoes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the equipment was bad, and then, you know, so you come to wherever you might end up going. It can't be nearly as bad as this.
Cats keep complaining about flying in the back of the airplane. Shoot, man, we was on G. Brown bus riding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Riding
Up
8
and
hours.
down, going to Nashville.
Yeah.
From Grambling to Nashville on a bus.
And you ain't had your own seat now. You was paired up with somebody, unless you was the starter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? you was just Sam Sausage Head. You was back there paired up with another one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I guess it trickles down to our field too, because they complain about one-man banding, and I'm over here like this every day at Howard's campus and talking on camera.
I had to do social, photo, and video. I was like, okay.
What is the difference or network of HBCU talent coming to the NFL compared to past generations?
back in the day, you know, you didn't have an option to go somewhere else. So Dak Prescott was going to go to either Southern University or Grambling. You know, CeeDee Lamb was going to choose between Jackson State or Southern. I keep doing Southern in there because he was always in the mix. But Marquise, like,
You could have went to fam.
yeah,
Or Howard, you know, just saying.
So in terms of the talent, I think the talent, there's still talent there. I think, Prime going back to Jackson State really made it, this generation, be okay with going to HBCU. Him going back and changing some of the thought process too, and making it better, and that I think that's helped and will help, the talent level.
You've got former professional players who were very good at what they did, and now they're going back and they may be trying to show up things so they can go to other colleges, but that's fine. That's fine as long as they leave some nuggets there for these young men to understand. You've got Eddie George right here coaching me, and he could have gone anywhere else, but he came, to Tennessee State. Those are the kind of things that really bring a lot of hope to the future talent at HBCUs.
If you had to name one thing that you miss about your HBCU, what would it be?
Camaraderie. The camaraderie is, and it's something that I really take with me, even though it's an HBCU environment, it just helps you relate to people, period.
Yeah, just being there. Just being there. Like, they always say, oh, you're going to miss these days, and you're like, okay, yeah. Nah, I miss those.
Yeah, and what about you, Lunda?
Being there, it was an extension of my parents. It taught me how to, say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's kind of, some of the stuff you miss, some of the stuff that you don't necessarily see all the time.
I know the thing I will miss is, like everybody said, just the bond, the brotherhood, the family. Like, you'll miss that.
Thank y'all so much. This is a wrap for our HBCU Roundtable. That's it. That's it. Nah.